Welcome to day 9 of learning how to design for 3D printing, and in today's video, we're going to learn how to make these twist and lock containers from start to finish. You see this mechanism on everyday products from blender bottles to regular everyday products, and if you know how to create these mechanisms, you can incorporate this into your 3D prints, making your own products unique, functional, and also add a bit more life into your design. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this, and this video might be a little bit longer and tedious, but I promise to walk you every step of the way and show you exactly how to do that so you get the final result as shown in this video. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into our computer and get started. Okay, so to get started, the first thing we want to do here is to open up a blank new canvas by clicking on New Design. Then we're going to select the Hybrid Design feature within Fusion and then select Create New. Now, the first thing we want to do here is to save this project. I'm gonna go ahead and click on Command S, which allows us to save this. I'm gonna type in day 9 and name this Twist and Lock Container and press save. Once done, it should show on the top left-hand side our new browser menu with the date and the name of the project. And what I want to do now is create a total of 2 new components. So to start, I'll click on the plus icon here right above the assemble feature within Fusion. Clicking on that, Fusion is going to prompt us to select or create a name for this. I'm going to go ahead and name this to lid and press OK. Then I'll go ahead and toggle on our top menu browser here once again. Click on the plus icon here and we're going to name this to container and press OK. Now, in a previous video, I've already shown you how to create components and how to organize your bodies and files within your browser menu in order to coordinate exactly what you're working on within your timeline and within your canvas. And this is going to be incredibly important as we move along throughout the program. So just make sure to get in the habit of using these features, as these features are incredibly powerful and they allow you to maximize your productivity with every single piece that you add to this canvas. So now with that said, let's go ahead and get started with our design. Go ahead and toggle on the container component here on the top left-hand side, click on Create Sketch, then select the bottom plane here. From here, clicking on Center Diameter Circle, and what we want to do is to create a center diameter circle around 50 millimeters and press Enter. Once done, we can press E on our keyboard and extrude this by around 30 millimeters. With that done, let's go ahead and shell the inside, pressing S, type in shell, and then select the top face here. We'll shell this in by around 4 millimeters and press Enter. Now, the next thing we need to do here is to chamfer the bottom, pressing S, type in chamfer, press Enter, and we'll chamfer this in by around, let's just say 3 millimeters. In this case, since we're chamfering here at the very edge at the bottom of our design, I'm also to chamfer the inside as well by adding that here by holding Command, just selecting the edge, and then adding that to our edge frame on the right-hand side. Press OK. Now, the next thing we need to do here is to create the cutout for the twist lock pieces. So in the twist lock mechanism, we kind of have like these parts that lock into place with the lid, and we need to create that piece that's going to attach to the lid of our design. But the thing we also need to consider is that if we're going to be designing this, we need to consider exactly how we're going to 3D print this. In addition, also 3D printing this without supports. So let me show you how to set this up, and don't worry, this part can be a bit tedious, but I promise to walk you every step of the way. Now, keep in mind, we've already done this before using threads. This is just another way of doing it, especially if you want to create a twist lock mechanism rather than a thread or a coiled mechanism. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Click on Create Sketch on the top left-hand side. Then what we need to do is to select the top face here. Then what I'm doing is I'm offset a couple of edges here on my design. Press O on your keyboard, select one of the edges inside, and let's go ahead and offset this by, let's say, 1 millimeter. Then pressing O once again, selecting the edge once more, and we'll offset this by around 3 millimeters. Pressing Enter. Now we can press L on our keyboard, which allows us to use the line feature. Then from the origin, drawing a line from the very middle of our screen, going all the way to the top. And make sure this extends all the way to the top, and you would know once you place it directly in the midpoint of our design, and it kind of highlights into this black constraint feature within Fusion. Now we need to create a total of 2 more lines. So let's go ahead and draw out 2 lines, one on the right hand side, make sure it's going straight up, and one on the left. We can also use the parallel constraint features just in case your lines are not parallel to each other. Then what we need to do here is to set the dimensions between this line here and this line on the right, and as well as the line in the middle and the line on the right here. Pressing D on our keyboard, we'll select this line here and this line here, and we'll set the dimensions here to around 6 millimeters. Then we'll press D once again, select this line to this line, and we'll type in 5. Now, what we're essentially doing is creating the lip that's going to attach into our lid here. Now, keep in mind, if we're going to have something that's going to twist lock, we need to make sure that the mechanism can actually fit into the frame and then twist in place. So this opening of around 6 millimeters, this is the gap where this piece here is going to fit. This is essentially what we're going to be using to twist lock into our design, which is why this is 1 millimeter longer than this one here on the right hand side. So in this case, let me just show you what that looks like so that way you kind of get a better visual idea as to how this is going to work. So let's go ahead and press E on our keyboard, select these profiles here, and let's extrude this to around 3 millimeters. Make sure the operation is set to join on the bottom right and press OK. Now, by now your sketch should have probably turned off. Let's go ahead and turn that back on, hovering over to the left-hand side, clicking on sketch, then turn on sketch 2. Let's go ahead and select this profile here on the right-hand side, press E, and in order to visually see what we're doing, let's go ahead and rotate this around. And then let's go ahead and change the starting position of this design. So if the wall length of this, or the extruded piece that we just extruded, is 3 millimeters, I want that to be half of that. So I'm gonna set the starting point here from profile plane to offset. And since we have the extruded part to 3 millimeters, I'm gonna offset this by 1.5 and then extrude this all the way to the very top, which is another 1.5. Make sure the operation is set to join, or just make sure what I have in my dialog box matches up with what you have in yours. Then I'll press OK. Now, with that completed, let's go ahead and chamfer this. Pressing S, type in chamfer. And what we want to do here is to select these edges here. This edge here on the far left and this edge here on the inside of this. We'll chamfer this in by around 1 millimeter, creating a nice kind of 45-degree angle for our product here. And the reason why we're adding this is because this is also going to work with our twist lock container without having to add supports to our 3D print. Because the last thing we want to do is to design something that requires supports. And if I can design or incorporate a feature that can remove the possibility of using supports, then I'm all for it. So with that said, here I added my chamfer. Now press OK. Now with that completed, let's go ahead and turn off sketch 2. And we need to go ahead and pattern this all around our design. We'll press S on our keyboard, type in circular pattern, and let's go ahead and select the features here, which is the last 2 features in our timeline, which is going to be the part that we just extruded going up, and then the chamfer we just added for our piece here. Let's select the axis, which is going to be the Z axis within the origin of this product here. And let's go ahead and select the quantity to 3. Once done, make sure what I have here on my dialog box matches up what you have on screen. What this basically does is we've already used this feature before. This basically allows us to select a certain group of features within Fusion and revolve it or pattern it around a specific axis. In this case, we selected the Z axis, which adds multiple instances of this feature all around our product. Once done, we'll press OK. And as you can see, it has successfully applied that feature to our entire product here. Now, we need to add this exact same feature to the lid. So let's go ahead and toggle on the lid component on the top left-hand side. And what I'm gonna do here is we need to go ahead and use this face as a reference to create our lid. So to start that, I'm gonna click on Create Sketch, then select the top face here. What I'm also gonna do here is to select the profiles for our product, and we're gonna be referencing these profiles to create our lid. So pressing E on our keyboard, let's go ahead and drag this up, and I'll drag this up to, let's just say, 6 millimeters and press OK. Now, as you can see, we have the container at the bottom and the lid at the top. So let's go ahead and use this tool called section analysis to kind of see what is going on. So we'll press S on our keyboard and type in section analysis. You can see it's the first option shown here. Then let's go ahead and select the plane. So I'm gonna reorient this back to the front using this cube on the top right hand side, selecting the front, then selecting the plane shown there. Now let's go ahead and flip this over so we can see what's going on. And there we have our design. Now, as you can see, that the wall that we just created is currently cutting into, or it's kind of overlapping with our product here. So if we were to try to 3D print this is not gonna work. So just to quickly show you, here we have our container, right? I toggled that off, but there's no opening for that to fit. So we need to create the cutouts for that. And in fact, it's pretty easy. So let me show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and zoom out. Make sure the lid component is toggled on within Fusion. We're gonna go ahead and use this feature called Combine. Pressing S on our keyboard, type in Combine, and this basically allows us to select 2 bodies and combine them, or even join them, or even intersect them. So I'm gonna select the top lid here, then the bottom, and as you can see, once I set the operation from join to cut, it's gonna create a cutout of this piece at the bottom into our top piece at the top. Make sure the operation is set to keep tools, which basically allows us to keep our container right after it cuts into our design. So I'm gonna go ahead and toggle this on and press OK. Now, if we're to go ahead and turn off our container, you can see now we've made a cutout of our design into our product, which is exactly what we're looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete this intersection here at the top, selecting that face and press delete. Fusion's gonna go ahead and delete that face from our body here, which is what we're looking for. But now we have a different problem. We've created the cutouts for our product here all around our product for our lid, but there's no opening for the bevel piece or the chamfer piece to fit inside for the twist lock mechanism. And this is where we're gonna go ahead and turn on Sketch 2 once again and making sure our container component is turned on. Now, all we really need here is the sketch. We don't need the body as shown in the center. So we'll go ahead and turn off our bodies. Then what we need to look for is to look for that opening or the largest profile that we just created. Now remember, we created two profiles. This is the piece that's gonna act as our chamfer that sits inside. This is gonna be the opening that's gonna sit or allow the chamfer to fit inside and then twist lock in place. So I'm gonna select the largest profile, press E, and extrude this in by around 3 millimeters. Once done, make sure the operation is set to cut and press OK. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn off Sketch 2. And as you can see, we've now successfully created the cutout for our twist lock container. Let's go ahead and repeat this exact same instance all around our design. I'm gonna press S on my keyboard, type in circular pattern. Then we're gonna go ahead and select the last feature within our timeline, which is what we use to cut into our lid. Then select the axis, which is gonna be the Z axis. And I'm gonna set the compute type to identical. Once done, I'll press OK. And now it's gonna create the cutout all around our product as shown here. Now, with that done, let's go ahead and toggle on the top level component, then turn on the bodies within Fusion 360. And let's go ahead and turn on our section analysis. Now, with that said, you can see if we were to go ahead and look at this product here, now there's a cutout for the bottom container and for the lid. We can use our section analysis tool by toggling on the section analysis box, double clicking on the section, and we can go ahead and kind of drag this out to kind of see what's going on the inside. So let's go ahead and try to drag this in. And as you can see here, we have the twist lock container. So this is the opening here on the top right hand side. That's the opening. And there is our twist lock piece sitting flush into the lid of our container. And that's essentially what we're looking for. We're looking for this to fit directly inside our product here. Now, with that done, if we were to go ahead and try to 3D print this is actually gonna give us some issues. And although on our computer, it looks just fine, we need to create a little bit of a clearance or at least some spacing or a gap. So that way we can actually fit the container into the lid of our product. So to do that, I'll go ahead and turn off our container, toggle on our lid, then turn off our analysis. Now, let's go ahead and zoom in right underneath to get a better look. So what we need to do here is to create a little bit of a clearance or a gap on our design. So I'm gonna right click on one of these faces, click on press pull, and I'm gonna press pull this in by, let's just say, negative 0.16 millimeters. Then I'm gonna hold Command on my keyboard, which allows me to select another face, and I'm gonna select all the faces here inside of our product. Now what we've essentially done is created a little bit of a gap or an opening all around our design. I'll go ahead and select Shift and rotate this around and add this face here on the left, which creates an opening or a much wider gap for our design. We need to go ahead and do this exact same thing for all around our product here. So holding Command, selecting all the faces, and doing the exact same thing all around our design. And once done, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Make sure the operation is set to offset type to new offset. And if you were to see visually what is going on, if we're to hold Command, this is what it looks like before. If we were to let go of this, you can see now it's created a little bit of a gap or a little bit of space so that twist lock mechanism can kind of fit into its slot. Once done, I'll press OK. Now let's go ahead and turn on our container, then turn on section analysis, and let's go ahead and see what's going on inside. So with that said, let's go ahead and use our section analysis by double clicking on this, dragging this in. And now if you were to take a look, you can see now we have the twist lock mechanism sitting flush inside, but with a little bit of space, so that way they're not touching each other or grinding against each other when you're using this product. Okay, so now we're pretty much done with creating our cutouts of our design. The next thing we need to do here is to add a small chamfer to the lid of this product in order to make it a bit easier for the container to slide into the lid. So I'll go ahead and turn off our container, toggle on our lid in the browser menu here, and let's go ahead and turn off the section analysis tool. Then from here, I'm gonna press S on my keyboard, type in chamfer, and what I'm gonna do is to chamfer these edges here. And let's go ahead and zoom right in so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna select all the edges here of our design, and then chamfer this in to, let's just say, 1 millimeter. That's gonna add a small chamfer underneath our product. So once we press OK, we can go ahead and turn on our container, then turn on our analysis. Now, as you can see, if we're to go ahead and let's just say as an example, I'm gonna move the container. The idea is that this container here is going to move into our product, then it's going to twist into the locking mechanism into the top frame of our lid. So that's the entire idea of this design. And we created this small chamfer to make it a bit easier for this to fit in. But of course, this sits kind of flush with each other, so not likely this will give us an issue. If you're using like matty sort of filament or textured filament, this might rub a bit, but for the most part, I think this will be okay. I don't think we'll have any major issues with this. Now, with that said, I'll leave it as is since I think it won't be a problem. Now let's go ahead and turn off our section analysis and let's go ahead and finish this design. We'll add a chamfer here at the very top, selecting the last chamfer we just created, then selecting this edge here at the top, and we'll chamfer that in by around 1 millimeter. Once done, press OK. Now let's take a look at our design. And as you can see, we've successfully created the container for our design within this video. And that pretty much wraps everything up. So in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to add texture patterns to this container. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and export this to my slicer by right-clicking on the browser menu here, click on Save as Mesh, then press OK. Now here I am within Bambu Studio, and here we have two different models. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to add this textured pattern to that design. This video is all about learning how to create the container for this product, because once you learn how to make the container, you're pretty much 80% of the way there. The pattern is what we're going to cover in the next video. So here I have design within Bambu Studio. I'm going to go ahead and split this into two different pieces by right clicking, then click on two objects. Then I'm going to go ahead and move this around and select it. And that way I'm going to reorient it into the best printing position possible. With that done, here I have my design, slice plate. And if we're to take a good look, you can see here we have our product, our container on the left-hand side, and here we have the lid on the right-hand side. I'm gonna go ahead and print this with the highest layer height possible, which is at a 0.12, which I think works pretty well for everyday 3D printing for the best quality settings. And I'll make sure to set this up and slice this. And there we have it. So here we have our container fully mapped out, fully designed. You can see the total time to print this is around 1 hour and 14 minutes and less than 25 grams of filament, which is not too bad. So with that said, that pretty much wraps up today's video. In the next video, I'm gonna show you how to add knurling patterns to your containers, giving your containers a bit more grip and life and making it look like a real working product. So with that said, go ahead and create this container in this video. Once done, you can move on to the next module and I'll show you how to add that pattern to this container next. With that said, if you're someone who's serious about 3D printing and someone who wants to master this skill, learn how to design your own products and eventually even create your own products to design and eventually even sell, make sure to check out 3D Printing School down below in the description. 3D Printing School is an all-in-one community with hands-on training, live support, and step-by-step classes just like this. So if you ever get stuck or need more help, that community is perfectly designed for that. So with that said, if you're interested, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.